First step in putting our cork bedding in is I noticed there's some high spots where the pins go in on the channel. So we're just going to sand the channel out lightly. And what I do is take a socket that fits in, put it on some 80 grit. The 80 grit removes a lot of the crack. And just run it with that socket to give you a form down the barrel channel a little. Try to get the stock flat. And be careful because this is thin. And you'll notice that this tapers, this gets narrower. So you got to get another little dowel or something, go up there and kind of just try to sand that very end in a little. Try to get it. And I do a 180 grit, and then I'll finish it up with a 220 just to make it nice and smooth. And run a tack cloth in. We already know that the chamber area is floating. We checked it, so just basically sand your channel out a little bit, and then we're going to lay that cork bedding in and get a nice good surface for it to adhere to. Okay, I found that in doing this, the easy thing to do is just take a piece of sandpaper, forget about using the sockets, and just put your finger in there. And then use your finger to guide it down. And that's much better. Like this. Sand that. Get it all nice and even. And once you're done with the basic sanding, take your tack cloth and get all the sawdust and that out of there. Get that nice and clean. Right there. Nice and smooth, nice and clean. Clean out other areas. And now we're ready to lay our cork down in there. I'll get back here in a second. Alright, as for the cork bedding, I got this at the craft store. It's got a self-adhesive backing on it. You peel it off. And what you do is you just lay that down on a table. Take a straight edge like this. I cut it into 1-inch wide strips. You're going to need an X-Acto knife. And you just take your straight edge, take your scale, or ruler, line it up to 1 inch. There. Check it up there. And just take your knife, get a slice. There you got a nice little 1-inch strip. That's what we're going to use. Now, the barrel channel is tapered. We know that. Okay? I'm going to reposition the camera so when we do this, and see if that. Now, we got our channel sanded, cleaned out. This is 50 thousandths thick. I don't know if it's right, don't know if it's wrong. This is all experimentation. Peel off your adhesive backing and kind of fold it in half to help you center it in the barrel. Now, I've never done this before, so bear with me. We're just going to kind of drop that down in the middle down in there, like that. Okay. Try to keep it straight. And just work it down with your fingers. Get a little off there. A little crooked. Let's try to straighten it out. Okay. Force it down with your fingers. And it looks pretty good. So I was going to have to trim the excess, but you may have to trim if it gets up above. You may have to trim this a little bit. Basically, you're down in the barrel channel, and that's what you want. Okay, I'm going to cut a section to fit in here. from the other piece, and then we'll do the, we'll also cut. So basically I'll cut a section that'll fit there, and I'll cut a couple strips. And how we'll do that, we'll just put it in there like that, figure out how long we need it by eye. And then we'll peel that off and get it down in that chamber, because I know that chamber area is free floating. I ain't got to worry about that. And we'll just try to get it down in there using our fingers. Like that. And then get the chamber area and the rest of this barrel lined. And then we'll shim our gun up and get her back together. Okay, now we have our cork lining, try to get over, in place. Here. Putting our shims back in place also, and we got the cork lining along the barrel. Any excess, take the X-Acto knife and just trim it flat to the stock. You don't want it sticking up. So once you get it like that, now we're going to drop the action back in with the shims and see where we're at. Alright, we got the gun all back together again. Stock shimmed. You can see, we can barely see our cork liner. There's a little bit of upward pressure spring, but I think our movement problem will be done. Now I'm going to try to get the handguard on here, and I'm going to see how this goes, if it's tight or what. This is going to be the one that will probably tell us. Up here, yeah, it's not sliding over too easy. Or at all, actually. So we may... I'm going to have to look at this problem closer and I'll get back. Okay, we couldn't get that forward ring on the handguard, so I cut a section of the cork bedding out, about even with this pin. Hopefully that'll facilitate assembling the gun, get it back together, and then we'll take it out, test wire it, and see if any of this has an effect whatsoever. Well, that did the trick. We got the gun assembled finally. Now the bands went on snug. There seems to be a little bit of a gap in there. I don't know if that's from the refinishing, or if that barrel's lifted up and putting pressure against it. But that play we had here, that's gone. So this thing's laying in the stock tight. It's not loose. It's not rattling around. The gun feels like there's no movement. So the only thing we can do is take it out tomorrow and see if any of this makes a difference whatsoever in the firing of this gun. And we'll check out how this experiment worked. Okay, that's it.